Because when we slow down and give our brain and our body the ability to rest and keep up, we become very powerful. And they often say less is more, and I believe there's great wisdom and power in that. What's a goal you can take off your plate just for now? Doesn't mean you have to get rid of it, but again, we're looking to lighten your load.
Welcome to the Leadership and Love podcast. We will cover leadership, mindset, personal development, and sales and marketing. You will experience thought-provoking conversations with both nationally and internationally recognized leaders. Our goal is to inspire you and deliver actionable items that you can implement that are going to help you accelerate your growth. Get ready to discover the magic and the power when you lead with love.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Leadership and Love. I actually have some great content for you today that I'm really excited about. And it's one of the things I've been working on myself. So what I want to talk about today is doing less. And they often say less is more. And I believe there's great wisdom and power in that. So one of the things that I want to be aware of is what is something that you can take away. Most of the time in personal development, we're adding a new habit, we're adding a new skill, we're learning something new. For this week and for the month, I challenge you to take action on taking something off of your plate. So for the time period you're going to pick, whether that's the next week or the next 30 days, don't add anything new to your plate. And in that same time period, whether that's going to be a week or a month, what can you take off of your plate? I want to repeat that. What can you take off of your plate? What can you stop doing? Because when we slow down and give our brain and our body the ability to rest and keep up, we become very powerful. I know there's a number of studies that prove that if you take Sunday off, all day Sunday, and don't work, you're more rejuvenated, more creative, more energetic, and more productive Monday morning than had you worked Saturday, Sunday, another 7-day work week. So for some of you listening, that one thing to stop might be stop working 7 days a week. That's going to be a big ask. But I can tell you the reward will be, if you stick with it, you won't need to put in 7 days a week, week in and week out. So let's jump right into this thing. One of the things that has got me thinking about this, and for those of you that are listening, not watching, I'm holding up a copy of the book, The One Thing. And one of my favorite books, because it's you simply ask, what's the one thing? What's the one thing, if I got it done today, it would move the needle the fastest and the furthest? It would get me the biggest results the fastest and the furthest. So I want you to think about stopping things, reducing or removing things in your life that's going to give you that one jump, that big freedom of time, of energy, of space, whatever that might be. So I just thought of something else I want to add to my list here. So I'm going to give you some examples as we work through this today, through the podcast. Again, you can replay this or stop it at any time. But I just want you to think about one thing, but I'm going to give you a number of ideas of something that's one thing that you could remove. So I want to start with relationships. This one's going to be the toughest, but I want to start, eat that frog, as Brian Tracy says. Do the hardest thing, ugliest thing first. The rest of your day's easy. So what, or who rather, is one person in your life that's not adding value, love, energy, or positivity? It's time for them to go. It's time for them to go. And if it's a relative, then maybe all you do is see them on Christmas and Thanksgiving or birthdays or whatever that may be. But who's one person that if you stop spending time with, it would free up your time, your energy? If it's who's somebody with a lot of drama in your life, every time you talk to them, they're the woe is me person, or they've got all these problems. Those are people that at some point we need to let them go, let them move on. We can love them, remember leadership and love, but we're going to love them from a distance, not up close and personal anymore. Next one I want to talk about is health. What can you do? What can you remove? What can you remove from your diet? So I'm going to give you some examples. Could you stop eating desserts? Could you stop drinking pop? Could you stop eating fast food? Lots of things you could cut out of your diet. But what's one thing? A buddy of mine, he dropped 35 pounds, and he only did one thing. He stopped eating fast food. Pretty powerful. That stuff's not any good for you. And again, what's the one thing that you're going to remove that's going to have the biggest impact? Next one is finances. What's something you can stop spending money on? I want you to really think about this one. What's something that you can stop spending money on? Is it the latte, blah, 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 blah at your favorite coffee shop? Is it a streaming service or some app that you don't use as often as you thought you would? I want you to take a good look at your financial situation and look at where's one thing you can stop spending money. Again, remember, now we're not adding anything to any of these lists, any of these ideas. We're simply taking something away. But by taking something away, we're creating a thing called momentum. And we want Big Mo working on our side. Exercise. What's one thing that you could take away from exercise? Maybe you're trying to exercise, or your plan is to exercise 7 days a week. Well, I can tell you, studies show that if you exercise 3 times a week for 20 minutes, that's enough to keep you in shape. Now, this exercise and food thing could go hand in hand, right? You could stop eating desserts and maybe reduce one of your days of workout for either time or frequency. But what's something that you could reduce from exercise? Because if you're like me, you're probably a type A driven to exercise way too much than what's really needed to maintain your health. Career. This is a big one. And I want to share this with you, and as a leader, the people on your team, people in your family, people in your organization. What's something that you can take off your plate for your career, or your team members, those that you lead, those that you work with, those that are above you? One of the greatest and fastest ways to add value to your job or your employer or your clients is to make their lives easier. So what's one thing that you could take off somebody else's plate to make their life easier? What's something that you could take off your plate to make your life easier? And by the way, I've got a very reasonably priced delegation program that you can purchase for $29.95. And it's going to teach you how to get things off of your plate and get the same results. But what's the one thing, if you got it off of your plate at work, and this is the truth for your children, your employees, your coworkers, your employers, what's one thing that you can get off their plate and your plate that's going to have the biggest impact the fastest? That's going to be huge. Mental. I want to talk about mental. Our brains are being taxed way beyond what they were normally used to as the species. And so what's one thing that you can eliminate? I want to share a really funny story with you. I do seminars, full day seminars. And if you're interested in attending one of those, let me know. But one of the things that I said at a seminar one time is that I don't watch TV. And I don't watch TV anymore. I don't have a satellite. I don't have any hookups. I don't have Netflix. I don't have any of that stuff. But I told people that what I do is I still have a TV, and when I want to watch like a movie for entertainment, I go to the local library, I get a free movie, and I'll come home and watch a movie for some entertainment. But I don't watch TV. And somebody in the seminar said, "Can I have your TV?" And I said, "You missed the point." So how much time are you spending watching TV? How much time are you spending on your phone? I'm going to repeat that one. How much time are you spending on your phone? And I don't care what you're doing on your phone. Text messages, email, scrolling social media, watching YouTube. Reduce it or stop something. I've taken some apps off of my phone, specifically social media apps, so that I'm no longer scrolling them all darn day. And even if you reduce that time, one of the things you can do is set a timer. I'm not opposed to watching TV or scrolling YouTube or Facebook or whatever it might be, Twitter, Snapchat, all who knows how many they got now. But my point is, at a minimum, set a timer. Give yourself 30 minutes. When the timer goes off, you're done. You're done watching TV. You're done watching social media. You're done playing with your phone. And when you get home at the end of the day, one of the things a great goal to be, or to have rather, would be to turn your phone off or silence it and not mess with that bad boy until the next morning. The other thing I wanted to talk about was goals. So what's one goal you can remove? And I don't mean in that you need to throw it away, but just take it off your plate for now. If you're like me, you've got goals, and I've covered many areas of your life in this podcast of places you can go remove things, take things away, subtract instead of adding. And so what's one of your goals that isn't that important, that isn't as the priority? What's the one goal? What's the one goal that if you got it done, it would have the biggest impact on every area of your life? I'm very clear on what that goal is for me right now. And so that's my number one focus, is that goal. I've got other goals that I focus on and review on a regular basis, but that one goal, that's the one I'm going after every day, every day, every day. And so what's a goal you can take off your plate just for now? Doesn't mean you have to get rid of it, but again, we're looking to lighten your load. And then the last thing, and this is very powerful, I just recently read a book called The Magic of Tidying Up. And if you haven't heard of that book, I highly recommend you pick up a copy and read it, or get it out. I think it's probably on Audible too. The Magic of Tidying Up. So what I'd like you to do, and I also saw a podcast with Jay Shetty where he said 2 minutes. Set a timer for 2 minutes and get some stuff out of your environment. It could be an old pair of shoes that you don't need. Donate it. Some clothes in your closet that you're not wearing. All of this stuff has energy. She talks about that in The Magic of Tidying Up. But all this stuff has energy. So again, what's one thing you can get out of your office, your garage, your house, and make this a regular habit? Every day take something out of your house. I've now created a new habit at my house, is if I bring one new thing in, 2 old things have to go. It's a little harsh, but I can tell you it is keeping my house from being cluttered. Because when your house, your office, your garage, your bedroom, whatever that may be, is cluttered, it keeps your brain overloaded, keeps your brain working all the time. So that's enough for this issue, this episode, because again, it's never my intention to overwhelm you. It's my intention for you to just pick one thing and take action. Take action today. What's one thing in one area of your life that you can stop doing, eliminate, or reduce and subtract to make your life freer, more fun, more efficient, more productive, more profitable, and most important, to give you the time and the energy and space to help, heal, and serve others like the leader that you are? Because that's what leadership and love is all about.
Thanks again for joining us and listening to this episode of Leadership and Love. I would like to challenge you to ask yourself, what's one thing that you heard today that you can implement immediately to improve your leadership and accelerate your growth? If you've gotten value out of this episode or learned something that you can implement today, we'd ask that you please share it with those that you care about. Our goal is to create more leaders who are leading with love.